Yeah, I think she's an outstanding public servant. I do think the shortness of the runway probably didn't help. You know, she didn't crystallize until Sunday, July 21st, which is a highly unusual, kind of never before reality in America. And my gut tells me, again, this is my gut, I don't have all the data, that when we do have the data and we look at it, we'll probably conclude, if I had to guess, that she wasn't as well known as she would have been had she been out there for a couple of years, even as a sitting vice president. It's a big difference between sitting as the number two and going out there and being on the campaign trail, and you're it. As it relates to the governor's race next year, it's an interesting question. Again, we've been wargaming it, and I think you could look at kind of different sides of this. President Trump, as a sitting president, getting elected the year before I ran, was probably one of the factors that contributed, not the only, I hope, but one of the factors that contributed to our success. You might add same party affiliation, the other side of that coin, when President Biden got elected the year before we went for re-election. So will it be a reaction to a President Trump? Or will he be emboldened? Will people who support him be emboldened? And maybe this is a new reality where you've got Kamala and Tim winning New Jersey by 5 instead of 17, and it becomes a much tighter race. Too early to tell, but that's obviously one that we'll all be watching. Hi, Tracy, please. I'll come back to you guys, I promise.
Speak a bit more about the canary in the coal mine concept. It looks to me, and I recognize everybody's still poring over this,
yep,
but that she's down now she's up by 4% compared to 16 4 years ago.
Is that right? Is it down to 4?
It was. I mean, it's
yep.
Obviously, but it appears that it's not so much. There are more votes for Trump, but there are many, many fewer for the Democratic nominee. Can you talk about, what needs to happen in terms of speaking to Democratic voters in places like you cite,
yep,
where the vote is it's depressed from 4
yeah.
years ago? Why is that happening? What does it mean about, for example, your administration and really the last 6 years, and what Democrats need to do better?
Yeah. I mean, we won, I think, at the end of the day by 3.3, so we're not too far off of where it sounds like she is landing. I'm not sure whether or not the numbers connect in any way. But listen, I think when you run an election that's closer than you'd like, and even though we won by 3-3, which in a lot of races is a landslide, it was closer than we certainly had on our first election, you do a lot of soul searching. We concluded, you know what, we're staying the course. We're just going to continue to execute, and I'm proud that we made that decision. I also would repeat what I said a minute ago. Down ballot, we had a lot of success in New Jersey yesterday, including in some tough races. The one I'd suggest all of us look at to try to draw some lessons is Passaic County, as I mentioned, where you had 3 commissioners and a sheriff candidate. 2 commissioners running for re-election, 1 first time and sheriff first time, and Trump won Passaic County, which is not the bluest of counties, as you know. You're up not too far from there. It's got a strong Republican Party head, and our folks did really well. So I'm not sure that the message, if you will, travels through the ballot. Yeah. It's the shift is 12-ish, right? 12 or 13 at this point. I'm not sure I've got a good.
The point is that people aren't turning out for Democrats, and why is that, and how should the Democrats respond?
Yeah. So yes and no is my short answer. It depends on who you're looking at. They did turn out in a big way for those Passaic, and they're not unique. We won races all over the state in some cases that were really tough and close. But I think in terms of hers, it's probably not knowing her as well. Short runway, the economy, kitchen table stuff, immigration, crime, regardless of what the facts might be associated with any of those, the other guys played those cards very effectively. Sir.